How's she going? Sharpen Blade here, and today we are taking a look at the Real Steel Rokot. This is from Russian designer Ivan Braginets. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This is a what I'd like to call a tactical gentleman's folder. I don't know if that's actually what it would be classified as, but it has the shape of a gentleman's knife, yet it's very tactical looking with the Morse code milled into the G10 scales and into the pocket clip, which actually is the designer's name in Morse code. So that's really cool. Kind of a low-key flex on all of us. But some specs on this. It has a blade length of 3.74 inches, a blade thickness of 0.138 inches, handle length of 4.53 inches, handle thickness of 0.5 inches, overall length 8.72 inches, and it weighs in at 3.95 ounces. Now, this is a liner lock with a fantastic action, very drop shutty, and it's a front flipper. Plus, look at that action. Plus, thumb studs, which work just as well. The only thing you have to keep in mind is when you go to close the knife, when you unlock it, sometimes I find, maybe it's just me, my finger stays up here a little too high, and therefore it doesn't want to close. So you just have to remember to keep your finger back a little bit. But look at that. Completely drop shutty. Very nice. Oh, and of course I messed that up. One more front flip, just because it's so fun. And we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the review. So, like I say, multiple modes of deployment. It even has a finger or a nail groove here. You can use that if you don't want to flick it open. But, I mean, it's definitely a lot more fun to just use the front flipper or the thumb studs. Size comparisons, before I forget yet again. This is it with the Rat Model 1. And as you can see, line up the pivots. It's shorter in the blade and a little bit shorter in the handle, but it's very similar. And for kind of a different size comparison, this is it with the 940. 940 is a bit smaller than this, but it's kind of got that same similar gentleman's carry, yet you can get some work done if you want. Although, other than a little bit of jimping here and some jimping up here, I wouldn't personally want to do a whole lot of hard work with this because it might slip a little bit. Because this jimping really is very, it's not super grippy, but it does the job well enough for what I consider to be a kind of a gentlemanly knife. Let's see here. Ergonomics are good. You know, it's very basic shape, but you have this little curve here and up here, so it kind of helps hold your hand in place a bit. But like I say, there's not much to stop you from sliding up. So if you're going to use a knife for hard use, probably find a better knife to use than this. But for everyday carry, this knife is pretty much perfect. You're not going to really, like cutting cardboard and stuff, although I will find I do find it's not super slicey through cardboard. But for like cutting open packages and cutting tape and cutting paper and opening envelopes, yada yada yada, this knife is perfect for that. Plus, it's just super fun to fidget with, especially where it's so smooth and it's so drop shutty. Has a good lockup, lots of room to move with time if it needs to. I wouldn't call it an early lockup, but it's about 25%. Easy to unlock it. Very easy, no lock stick or anything. Deep carry, right or left hand carry, but just tip up, not tip down if you're one of those people. There's a shot of the back spacer. Focus. Which is nice too. That's nicely designed too. The design overall is pretty nice. It's fantastic actually. I shouldn't say it's pretty nice. It is nice. It's a great design. It has, like, you use a flathead screwdriver for the pivot and the body screws. So a little different than the Torx bits, but I mean, pretty much everyone has that. If you have any kind of a, I mean, even that would have a tool on it to take this apart, so it's not like that's a negative or anything towards it. And like I was saying, ergos are good. No hot spots on it. This kind of pokes up a little bit, but it's long enough of a knife that in my left hand, my pinky sits right here, and in my right hand, it just kind of goes right in there. And like I say, you're not using it hard, or at least I wouldn't use it hard, so it's not a big deal anyways. The only thing I find with it is, since it is such a big knife, like, it's a little bit slower of a deployment as a front flipper. Like, you see some other front flippers out there, they're usually small knives, so like very snappy, but where this is a bit bigger, it takes a bit more effort, and it's just not quite as snappy. But I mean, whatever, it's nice to have a front flipper that's in a bigger blade too, and that bigger blade definitely helps with making it drop shut. Other than that, there's really no negatives for what it's designed for. There's his logo, by the way. Oh, it's N690 too. I completely missed the materials. It's N690 blade steel. It's a drop point. Maybe I'll get you guys to watch till the end of my video now, because I'm holding out some information on you. It's a drop point. It has a flat grind and a satin finish on the blade. And like I say, it's N690, which is a good steel for this knife. I forgot to look up what the price is on it, but I'll put that in here when I'm editing the video. I'll put it right here to make it a little harder on myself. And yeah, I'm starting to ramble now, so I think I will wrap things up. Overall, if you're looking for a nice front flipper, maybe this shouldn't be your first front flipper, but this is a nice front flipper. And like, if you can't get the hang of the front flipping action on it, the thumb studs work equally as well. And in my opinion, they're maybe a little bit better because they're even snappier than the front flipper. But anyways, great knife, great design. Can't go wrong with the Rokot from Real Steel. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like and subscribe, and take care.